This is a video on how to make a clay coil pot. First thing, you're going to want to get some supplies. You want some water, chunk of clay. Pin tool is a really good tool to help you as well. First thing you want to do is make the base of the coil pot. Take a chunk of clay and kind of flatten it against one of the mats. Use a rolling pin to make it flat. Definitely work on one of these mats, else it'll stick to the table. Every once in a while, flip that piece of clay over and roll a little bit more, as the clay will start to even stick to the mat. Roll and flip, roll and flip. The goal here is to get the slab about as thin as a pencil. Use your pen tool to cut out the base. A nice circle or oval will work very well for this project. Remove the excess. And there you have the base. There's a good thickness, again, about the thickness of a pencil. If you go too thin, your project will be very fragile and probably crack. Put that aside for now and let's roll some coils. You can start by rolling the clay between your hands, but soon you probably want to roll against the table, so move the mat aside and try to apply even pressure down onto the clay. Move your hand back and forth across the clay. The goal is to get about the thickness of, again, a pencil. Any thinner than that will cause your project to be way too fragile. Thicker cause your project to be really heavy and kind of clunky. So there we go, we have a nice big coil. Look for the thicker areas and try to make them consistent throughout. Now let's attach that to our base. First thing we're going to do is score. So make some hatch marks into the clay. About 2 or 3 inches will suffice. Do the same thing onto the slab base. Now add some water all the way around the whole circle of the base. Also add some water onto the coil. Line up those 2 scored areas and squish them together. And then stack the rest of the coil around the edge of the base where you added water. Keep stacking it up. Start creating that vase shape. Give it a little squish down to make sure it all sticks in place. Now we need to roll another coil. Same process here. Roll it against the table using the palm of your hand. As soon as you can, get 2 hands in there if you can. Might take a little practice to start getting good coils. Now, some people think you have to start right where the last coil left off, but that's not necessarily true, although you can. I'm going to put mine in a different place just to show you. Score about 2 or 3 inches again. Same thing on the coil. Add your water. And attach. Give it a good squish down to make sure it sticks. Start stacking it up. Now I can control if I want the vase to go in or out. Let's say I want it to start curving in. Well, then start stacking the coils more towards the inside. You'll see it starts to get a smaller opening. If I want to curve it out, well, start stacking the coils more towards the outside and it'll open up. So you can control whether it gets bigger or smaller. I gotta just stack mine straight on top for now. Now once your coil pot gets 2 or 3 inches tall, if you want it to be able to hold water like a cup or a vase, well then you need to scrape the inside so that no water gets through those little holes. To do this, I use a wooden tool. Put your hand on the outside of the pot to give it some support, and then use the tool to scrape the clay on the inside. It's going to look rough at first, but then you can take your fingers and smooth over it, make it look a lot neater. Make sure you get down right at the base there where that first coil hits the slab so that no water can get through. Now you can do this to the outside as well, but make sure you do it to the entire inside if you want it to be able to hold water. You can leave it bumpy on the outside or smooth it. At this point, I would continue to add more coils. You could add a handle. You can add your name to the bottom. That's how you make a ceramic coil pot.